Hello everyone, this is Rosalina Royal from articlemotion.com. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day, and just want to bring an article to your attention. An article that was published by the Atlantic newspaper entitled The Transportation Barrier. Of course, there are several articles that publish topic of the same interest, but this article is not just another article that talks about transportation barriers. The reason why I would like to share this article with you is because of one particular case that I am seeing right now in this era, in this generation, in this society where we live. I speak, the event is becoming more of a trend, and it must stop. In the healthcare industry, it becoming more of a trend, and it must stop. Healthcare providers ought to do better. And this article talks about one particular case where a 60-year-old man, and I'm going to reach the highlight to it. It was published by the Atlantic newspaper and a few years ago, and I'm going to read just the highlighted part to you that caught my attention while I was doing a research for a paper that I was writing. And I'm going to make sure that you have the visibility on it so that you also can read it at your leisure. Okay. Around midnight, a rainy Saturday 2 summers ago, a 60-year-old man wandered into the waiting area of North Carolina Hospital, where I worked as an emergency room volunteer. He had just been discharged. Remember, he had just been discharged. He told me, adding that his vision was messed up from medication. He had arrived in an ambulance several hours ago, but didn't have money for a bus ride home. He lived with his disabled mother, who was unable to drive, and I have no family close by. Correction. I pointed him towards the admission and discharge station to see if someone there could help him. He went over to explain his situation to the nurse in charge, but the hospital, she told him, could not pay for his bus or cab fare. The system cannot handle that expense for everyone, she said. Remember, the system just cannot handle that expense for everyone. Obviously, some people are being helped, and this is one of the cases that I should warrant assistance. The man grew visibly frustrated. After getting the same answer from a few more members of the hospital staff, he seemed to give up. He paced the waiting room, looking out the window at the rainy night outside. A blind man or a visually impaired man at night, discharged from the hospital and left on his own. Okay, it wasn't obvious that condition had brought him to the hospital, but now he was off balance and staggering. I watched him from my station across the waiting room, concerned that the hospital could do nothing to help him get home. My shift ended a few minutes later. The man was still standing near the window, seemingly without a plan. I approached him and asked whether the hospital had figured something out for him. He said they had not. Where do you live? I asked. He described an area that was about 8 miles on the other side of town from the hospital, but not far from my home. I might try to walk, he said. A vision impaired old man trying to walk 8 miles at night in the rain. No part of it seems like a good idea. Do you want me to give you a ride home? I asked. My shift just ended. Around 20 minutes later, I pulled up in front of his home and we shook hands and parted ways. It was lucky, I thought as I drove away, that I was in the right place at the right time. But how often do patients stranded at the hospital experience the same good fortune? And I'm going to say, not often. And the article talks about past research that highlighted the same, not the same case, but transportation problem for the ill. And I'm going to scroll it all the way down so that you can read it on your own time. I'm going to scroll it all the way down. Obviously, transportation in this era is a big problem for this community. And this is the end of the article. But what I want to say is that healthcare workers needs to do better. Case managers need to do better. Not all, but I've seen some good ones, and I've seen some bad ones. Giving cold and off instead of warm and off. At best, healthcare providers, our workers should at best try to give a warm and off to patient who was in their care or in their care. Mind you, we cannot help everyone. As I highlighted before, we cannot help everyone, but at best, try to help those who you can. And even if the patient has nowhere to go that they call home, or he or she called home, try to call another case manager, even at a shelter, and at least give that patient a night's sleep somewhere, a referral to somewhere. Don't just abandon the patient or leave the patient abandoned, wandering all over the place. That's a cold and off. That's a mighty cold and off. And I'm encourage other people and other healthcare workers who try to do their best. Whenever time you see someone mistreating a patient or mistreating anyone, especially a patient, say something. Do something. Do not be a silent killer, because it's happening out there right now as I speak. Do not be a silent killer. Say something. I'm encouraging you, for those who are doing their due diligence and doing the warm and off. Anytime you see a patient or someone else is being mistreated, especially a patient, say something. Because this patient in this article should not have been left in North Carolina hospital just like that. He was visually impaired, 60-year-old, just lived 8 miles away, and they left him abandoned at night in the rain, wandering about. Should not have been happening. Should not have happened. And it is been happening right now as we speak. I saw it, and I'm very verbal when it comes to those things. So I always say something. So don't be a silent killer. While you do your warm and off, and you see someone doing a cold and off, or abusing someone and mistreating someone, especially a patient, say something or do something. I encourage you. Have a good day. This is coming from Rosalina Royalt, highlighting the issue that was published regarding transportation by Atlantic challenges or transportation barriers by Atlantic newspaper, 2015. You can read it at your own time, and hope you, as of today, you see anything in this happening in this manner, say something, do something. Don't be a silent killer. Have a good day. Bye.